Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, whenever you are. Of course, we are live now, but you can see that uh, later. Okay. Well, let's start our out of the box develop for today, and I will present here my friends Chila. Hey, Chila, how are you?
Hey Pedro, I'm fine. Thanks for having me here at the Out of the Box Developer today's session. So I am curious about today's session and looking forward to it.
Great, thank you to be here. And Danilo, hey Danilo, how are you, man?
Oh, hey Pedro, I'm fine. Excited, actually, a little bit excited about the topic that we had today. So we're going to talk about events. I'm so excited about it. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, thank you for coming. And you, Douglas, how are you?
Hey, hey, it's great to be here, Pedro. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to the topic at hand.
Yeah, the topic today is a very interesting topic. We're gonna talk about events, the power of events for our developer career. And we already have one guest here. Hey, oh, one a comment. Hey, Mateus. Hi, folks. Yeah, hi to Mateus. Uh, well, the today's topic is very important because we're going to talk about the event. Oh, Victor Queiroz, hello everyone. Andres Alcaraz, hi there. How are you? From Lima, Peru. Yeah, we have people from all of the world today. Chile is in Europe. I am Douglas in South America, and we are in South America, and so we have people from all around the world. It's really nice to have to live today. We can talk like in we can talk online with everyone, right? This is really awesome. And when of in our talk about our topic today is about events, and we are why I chose to this topic for today. It's because, well, we are starting to get all events around the world for all developers, and then we are having opportunities to participate of this event. We have opportunities to be speakers in this event. We have opportunities to be volunteers in this event, and we're gonna talk here about why we should do these things, right? Why is that so good to be in an event for our career? So that's the idea for today, and we have different experience in events here before, and of course we still have our special guest Bruno. That it's actually I forgot to say many could not be here today, but yeah, many we are waiting for you in the next one. Okay. And Bruno, I hope Bruno can join us as well because Bruno is one of the most experienced guy here about events, right? Well, let's start. Hey, let's talk about some which events we're gonna have. Like we had this month, and what the events we gonna have the ahead of us. Uh, well, who wanna start? Sheila, do you wanna start?
Yes, I know. There have been two events the week before. The first one was TDC Business Edition in Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a 3 days event. And I know that you were there, many of you were there. And then after TDC, we had also a DevOps Ukraine edition. This was a remote digital edition.
Nice.
1 day event. It was very nice. Main
Mm-hmm.
topic with artificial intelligence. And then this week we have got another DevOps Belgium.
This
Uh,
week.
this week, it's this week, yes.
Wow. When are
Yes.
you gonna be?
Hmm?
When it's gonna be?
It's
When?
I think it's the whole week. It's
Oh.
starting with some workshops, and then the main conference part is from Wednesday until Friday. And then we will have some other events, I guess. So TDC again by the end of the year. Some of you will be there for speaking and coordinating, and there are a lot of other events, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
I, I,
And
I,
you,
remember,
Danilo?
I remember that I see today that the KickCon São Francisco is starting today. So this is one of the biggest events in the world, and it's started today. I just saw some publications on LinkedIn about it.
Mhm.
Yeah, which one? Can you
KickCon,
repeat?
KickCon São Francisco.
Ah, the QCon.
Okay.
Nice.
KickCon,
All right.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah, QCon is from InfoQ, guys. Right? It's
Yeah.
a really huge event.
And if I'm not wrong, the JCon World will happen in November too.
Nice.
Mhm.
And you,
So
Douglas? Oh, sorry,
No,
Daniel.
no, no. You're cool. So basically, not a lot of events that I've participated prior, but I've got a couple of coming up, which uh, potentially. Well, I know I'm definitely going to participate in the International Career Day event, and that's going to be in 1 month. I think it's November 3rd. If I'm I'm trying to pull this out of memory, November
Yeah.
3rd, and then perhaps I've submitted a talk for TDC. The International Career Track, TDC Future, to see if I can get, if I could potentially be able to present there. It would be remote. I can't jump on a plane right now and fly on down, but I would love to be able to do it. And I think the topic that I'd like to present would be a good topic. I'm going to actually present the same topic at the International Career Day.
Mhm.
So yeah. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, Max is here as well in comments. Hey, Max. Hello, everyone. Max is saying JCO World happens in November 20th, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we have this big event in ahead, and I can say as well, like, I participated this in TDC Business. It was like 2 weeks ago, and in international career track, I was a coordinator there, and it was amazing. I think we can start talking about our experiences on this event, what we have done there, and in well, next month we have the international dev career. uh, I I didn't submit my talk yet, so it's something we need to do. and and then in the other month, in the beginning of the other month, in December 7th, right? TDC Future is gonna happen. I will be a coordinator again there, and it will be in Porto Alegre. So, well, let's talk about our experiences in these events. Oh, Chila, what you have been, what you have done in these events, and
Mhm.
what do you can say about this experience?
Yes, I started with TDC, and first when I started, I had not a lot of idea about TDC, but there was international edition, I guess 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And the international edition was remote, so you could participate in a digital way online. And then I submitted a talk there, and suddenly it was accepted. So I was my first experience with TDC was as a speaker, and then I continued. And by the end of the year, there have been another international edition where I was coordinator of the accessibility and diversity track. And then 1 year later, so last year I was a coordinator again for the data science track, and that was done in person. So, and it was an amazing experience. So this is my experience with TDC, a little bit of coordinating, and so.
And what you can say about these experiences? How it was for you?
For me, it was new and amazing at the same time, because if you are participating in person, that's a totally different experience from a remote experience, because you meet the people there, you can talk to them, you can have amazing conversations, and for me, it was also a lot of inspiration. If I go to an event, then and I listen to those presentations, then I just get a lot of ideas from there. So it was all this together. I think it's fantastic. So there is also, there's a difference between conferences that are more online or in-person conferences, and there are also hybrid conferences where you can do both things. I'm not sure about your experience with those kind
Wh-
of.
Which one? Which one did you like more?
I think the hybrid ways is probably one of the best, because if you, due to the distance, you cannot participate, and you still have a chance to participate online. But it's of course better if you can meet personally the people. So it's another way of contact. So it's very different. So if you can do it, then you go in there in person, and if you cannot do it, you still have a chance to participate.
Yeah, it's very, very important. Yara he is always talking about this, but let just get what Max is saying here. Max says, "Yeah, me too. TDC business was an amazing experience. Yeah, we were there as well. It was amazing. But TDC business, I think it was the TDCs is the biggest, because this is in São Paulo, and São
Mhm.
Paulo has, of course, the biggest number of developers here in Brazil, and we can say that this is the biggest event. So if when you go to TDC Business, we can find we can have like a very good networking there for with all the main companies we have here in Brazil. And Max is still saying, I think TDC Future closed its call for papers. Yes, Max, about TDC Future call for papers, it ended yesterday. So, oh yeah, we are just one day ahead of the close call for papers. Of course, we all shared here in our social media. So if you weren't following us in social media, we already have our ads here, right? So you can find us in social media, and we were sharing everything, all these dates in about TDC Future. But unfortunately, we had like a small amount of time this year, this time to get prepared and send to the call for paper. But yeah, we received lots of good submissions. uh, I sorry, but I should continue reading the comment here. And Andre says, "This year I will attend my first Java conference in JCon Peru. I will participate as a volunteer, eager to know local folks. As an immigrant, I want to get in touch with the local community. What I find hard is to find a topic to talk about." Wow, this is a very good comment and a very good question. Uh, do you wanna talk some do you wanna say something about it, Danilo?
Oh, I can give some words about it. Actually, it's hard to you know, there isn't the right topic to talk about it. You know, maybe when you are there in the event and you are watching a presentation, hey, just look at your side and say, hey, what's your opinion about the presentation? You know, this is the best question maybe that you can do for a person that you don't know. And even doing that, you probably can get a connection with that person or things like this. Actually, I can share my experience on my last event that was the TDC business that Sheila and Pedro participated to. And I can share that it was an amazing experience. And the first step that I did to talk with people was just ask them, oh, what's your opinion about this presentation? What did you thought about it? Have you ever worked with this tool? You know, some presentations were presenting some tools and maybe some languages or architectures and this kind of problem. Just doing this kind of question probably can help you to, you know, do the first step to talk with someone that you never met before. Do you see that? I don't know, maybe Sila, do you see that there is any other approach that Andres could take to talk with people over in an event?
Maybe the approach what I can take is before the event is starting, that I think about the event. I'm looking at the schedule, at the program, what are the talks available, and then I can have a plan what I would like to listen to, and then I also look at the speakers. Maybe I want to have a conversation with them or meet some of them or some of my friends. And then, so before the conference, I make maybe a little bit of plan what I would like to see, because you have got so many programs and talks going on that sometimes it's hard to find the right one or hard to select, because both are interesting, and then you have to decide which one you want to have. So maybe it's that's why I'm looking at it, what's worth visiting, and then it's probably, for me at least, it's easier than to find my way and navigate between the talks. It's just my opinion about it.
Sure, sure. And you, Douglas?
I think that setting an intention is really great. That's actually a really probably the best piece of advice that anyone could give. So Sheila, that's awesome. That's you know, uh, and I think with setting the intention, that means that the next tip would be to be able to walk in. And what I usually do when I jump into around people I don't know what's going on, and I have a really good experience doing this. I went to Java 1, and I went to Java 1 in 2019 as someone that had always done .NET and really never thought about going to a Java conference. It's, Bruno drugged me there kicking and screaming. And as a speaker, actually. So that was even more like the imposter syndrome was extremely high at this conference. But my tactic that I use with the intention is also to listen, right? Just sit back and listen to the conversations going on around you. And what you'll learn in that, even if you're at a conference where you don't think you really know anything. I taught Java for a little bit. I mean, that's my connection to Java. Is I've actually taught new developers how to use Java to do web development. The thing is that you'll find that the fundamentals, when people are starting to talk about conversations around like issues they're having doing development, they're the same. And you can actually put in your feedback in those conversations, but you have to really sit back and chill and let your mind wander with what people are saying and really listen to what's going on around you in order to be able to take advantage of something like that.
Yeah, those are very good tips. Well, Max is saying another tip as we here as well, like saying, lose it. And amazing to get started with something that you are comfortable to talk about, right? It's another very good tip. And I think when you start with something you like and something that just happened, and then you can start a conversation, then you can listen more, as Douglas said, and then of course you start getting more in touch with people inside the event. It is something that happened to me in my early ages. I can say when I started going to conferences, I was so I can say introvert. I just entered in the conference and see and listen to the talks and didn't talk to anyone. And then and eventually I realized, I say, oh man, you are losing the best part of the conference, that is trying to making some networking, right? And try to meet people, or try to meet the companies, try to talk what the companies are doing, to talk about what the people are doing, and talk with the speakers what they're doing. And then you suddenly know much more about what the market wants from you, much more about how you are, uh, or how you are in your knowledge level comparing to the market. And then you can start getting uh, insights of your how you can go from your career, right? And we are talking just as a as participants here, right? So it's say, oh, I'm a participant of the event, and what I'm going to do as a participant of events. We are talking. We talk to people, we listen to the speakers, we can talk to the companies. And then in TDC, for example, we had a part that the communities could get together. They had like communities of open source communities, the Jug, as Max said as well here, and try to find out a Jug. What is a Jug, right? Jug is a Java user group. Java user groups we have in almost all cities, right? And then here in my in my city we have like a small one, like they say Jug Valley, that is Vale do Paraíba here. And we have Java user group from Java do Paraíba, has a small number of people, but we still get in touch. We have a group, and then we talk to each other, and we prepare for the conference. We try to have some meetups here in our groups. So this is nice to increase the networking as well. But I'd like to ask you guys about another topic, as someone asked here. That Andre said here, that it's hard to find a topic to talk about. So let's think about the event in as a speaker. Have you had an experience as a speaker in an event, people? Who wants to start?
Well, okay. So too much silence. I guess that you know, maybe we roundtable these kind of things. We'll just call on people in the future. But yeah,
It's better to point, right? It's say, oh, Chila,
yeah,
can
keeps
you
it
can you
going.
go first?
Keeps it
Go. Okay, I will do that.
The
Okay,
thing
Douglas,
is,
you can go first.
yeah. So I have had lots of experience as someone presenting material. I went in and I helped Bruno at that talk that we did in at Java 1. That was before the pandemic hit, like right before. I mean, like September 2019 was just right before the world came to a stop. And that was a good experience. Then from a speaker perspective, I was an instructor for a school. I spoke every day. That was my job. I spent 10 hours a day in Zoom because we were doing this through the pandemic, and I was teaching people how to, software development through Zoom, and it worked. We had lots of success stories through that. I've done some presentations, through some of the events that Bruno has held, and I've done that too. But I think that it really comes down to being able, from a speaker perspective, to being able to connect with people as a speaker. It really does help a little bit when you're wearing the speaker badge instead of the normal attendee badge, and there's other things that come with that too. So when I went to Java One, because I went to Java One with Bruno, and Bruno knows everybody, and so it was like, hey, you should come to us for this JCP event. And I'm like, what's a JCP, Bruno? But I went. It's I was learning all this stuff in real. That's how my entire life is, though. I just learned a lot just in time. And so I learned what the JCP was right before I walked in the door, and was shaking hands with a bunch of people on the JCP. It was a really cool, just always keep moving kind of event. There's an advantage to that. There's also advantage to who you know. And that also helps. If you're a speaker, then people are going to talk to you a little bit more easily, I believe, especially if you're friendly. That's a thing, right? You gotta be nice to people, or people won't want to talk to you. So, keep that in mind. But yeah, that's as a speaker, I've found that it gives you a little bit extra punch, a little bit extra authority as you're walking around. And being an instructor at a coding boot camp did the same thing. I'm one of the instructors, and it was really hard for me to, I'm just another person. And then people are like, oh no, it's an instructor. They sat in on my interview, to be in the program, and I'm just like chilling. It wasn't like I was really there to really even, trying to observe how we do things. And I went with a group of students on a tour, around one of the campuses, because I wanted to, I wanted to get to know the campus when I was an instructor. And it was a big deal for those prospective students that an instructor was also walking around with them, in addition to someone from admissions. So these kind of things do mean something to people. Being a speaker, being an instructor, that actually means something to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's and then you can train your skills of leadership, right? So you start being a leader for these people, right? So this is awesome as well.
Yeah.
And well, and you, Danilo?
Well, think about how I find a topic to do a presentation about it. Well, this is not so easy to think about it, but I can share that there is a process behind it. And one of the things that I usually try to do is to look at the company that I work with, and the company that I work with, or not just the company, but the community that you were involved and things like this. They are people that probably are going to be the same audience that you are going to find in an event, in a conference. So if you know something that you can help them, probably you can help them in a conference, in an event too, by doing a presentation about it. So I can share with you that the topic that the presentation that I did in TDC was exactly this process. That's it. I have a team that didn't know about one topic, and then I helped that team with that topic, did a lot of material that they could get a lot of advantages and learn about it. And then I said to myself, hey, maybe I can think about doing a presentation and events about it. More people can I can help more people. People will learn about it, and then I just did that. What I was doing exactly what I was doing at my work. I just did on the events. So this is the process that I usually try to look at, and sometimes it's not clear that a problem that you already have a solution at your work or in a community, probably you can share it in an event. This was the first thing that I thought to submit this talk.
Can I
Really good.
can I jump in one more time, because I think I got the question wrong. I think I actually I got a signal crossed. We were talking about, like, as a finding a way to. Okay, yeah, I got my signals crossed. So to add on that, like finding a topic. So even with the TDC discussion, right? The track coming up. I've been doing a lot in artificial intelligence with generative AI, and I was thinking it was a technical track, and I'm like, I got all these ideas, and then Pedro's like, no, 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 it's not. Here's what this track is about. And so I was like, oh no. And then I thought about it for a little bit. And it's like, how do I take a topic that I've been doing a lot of thinking, putting my headspace in, and make it to where it fits within the track that would be a good, topic for. And that's where I came up with the idea of talking about using ChatGPT as a cultural advisor when trying to deal with people internationally. Because if the international career track is about people who want to work internationally, a lot of problems usually come around when trying to do something that's simple in the eyes of someone from one place, but they do it in a way that does not fit in with the culture that they're trying to that actually is really insulting to the other people, because they didn't even think about the fact that it was that way. And so how can we use ChatGPT, who has all these billions of data points in there about all the different cultures in the world, to be able to say, I'm from here, I'm thinking about saying this, the company I work for is, in this is here, and it would even know down to the region, regional culture. And so I was like, how can we use generative AI to do that? And that's exactly what international career track would need, is something like that, is to talk about through something like that. So that was kind of how I just took two things together and mashed them until it became something.
Oh,
Yeah.
hearing from you now, I'm more excited to listen your talk.
Really cool. Yeah, that's the thing, right? When we think about topics, it's exactly there is can I talk something that that can help someone that someone has a problem, and it actually is finding a problem, right? When you look for a topic, you find for a problem, and then you think, okay, what I can talk about this problem, right? And then we can talk about many things about one problem, right?
Yeah.
And that's the point. If we find one problem, we can have like lots of things to talk. If we look for one solution, we have only one thing to talk. So it's better to find for a problem when we think about topics, right? And Yosila, what do you think about it?
Yes, I think that's important, because during your work, you usually have some problems, technical problems or issues you would like to have a solution. And when you solve that problem, you come up with a solution, maybe together with the team, and then your idea is just to make it more known, or you would like to share this problem and how you solved it with other people. So I think this valid idea, how to formulate something and find a topic. So everyone has got a kind of problem he or she has to solve during the work, and then this is one of the possibilities to find a topic.
Yeah.
And another important thing is what Douglas also mentioned, that when you are talking about this problem or some idea with other people, and then during you have got a kind of brainstorming maybe, and then you got to other ideas, and then you can follow on that idea. So this is maybe also another
Talking
way.
to people, right?
Important to talk to people, not just keeping all the problems for yourself. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because other people might see it from another perspective, and then that can help.
And
Mm.
I know, and I always heard about people that say, "Oh, we see people that are a lot very good developers or very good in his role," but every time we talk, say, "Oh, why you don't give a talk?" Say, "Oh, I don't have nothing to say," or everything I have to say. There are people that can say much better than me. What do you guys can say to these people? Can you start, Douglas?
So state it one more time. State it one more time.
I can say that there are people that say, "Oh man, you know that they are very good professionals," but when
Mhm.
they say, "Oh, why you don't give a talk?" They say, "Oh, I have nothing to say," or "I don't. Everything I know, there are people that can do better than me in a talk."
Okay.
So I don't think I
I got
can do a talk, So so I don't try.
that is interesting because I think that this topic is something that really gets hit on by a lot of people because there's a lot better people or they're in their mind the belief of the person who's having the problem is that there's much better people who are talking about that topic. But what's interesting, let me take you back to a little bit of some stuff I've done in the past. I took martial arts training when, like early in my early adulthood, right? When I was like 18 years old, I signed up and I basically went into a martial art and went to training all the time. And here's the interesting thing about that. When I was a white belt, that's the first belt you get when you go in. They, I would be trained by people that had a black belt, but also I would be trained by people that had a yellow belt in my white belt kata, the form that I had to learn to get past my white belt. I would be, I would also have people taking me through my white belt kata that were green belts, that were, all the way through the system. It was whoever was available that knew a little bit more than I knew at the time about the kata. And it really it meant that I actually got the kata from, a black belt has been doing that for years and years and years. That little white belt kata, it's just like, all right, let's do it again, come on. And then but if you get a yellow belt who just tested in the kata, you just had to pass a test and prove that they knew their kata, they're really thinking maybe a lot more about it. But even the blue belt might even have a different perspective. So taking this as an analogy, let's come back to oh, these other people know more about this than I do. Well, guess what? These other people are not you, and your experience is individual in life. And so you're going to have a unique perspective, and you're going to be able to present it in a different way. And who knows, the other person who's going to be there and hear you present it in your way may actually get something out of it that they didn't even get when the person who'd been, using React for 20 years. By the way, React's not been out for 20 years, but that person, who's been using Java for 20 years, or that doesn't even think about that topic anymore really, but they presented something on it. But the person who just like was recently learned these things and is really excited about it might have actually given you a piece of information that gets you to go aha. So it doesn't matter as long as you know a little bit more than the person you're presenting it to, then you could share something that you learned right then with them, and it makes you a teacher.
Really good insight, Douglas. Yeah, I cannot say that I agree less than because this is exactly what I think. Everything you said is exactly what I think. Is because everyone has something that can share with someone else. Everyone has, right? I love uh, our friend Gabriel. Everyone knows Gabriel. He is my friend of Max. Max he is always with Max in the other podcast. from Soul Java. He is a junior. Actually, not, I think he's not anymore, but he was a junior like a small amount of time ago, and now and then he starts sharing. Lots of people were enjoying what he was sharing. Lots of people were enjoying his talks. I remember I was in uh, Poços de Caldas, and we have like me as a senior, Hugo as a senior, other guys, and Gabriel, all giving talks. And giving talks to students from the university, right? And then the can you imagine which talk they like the most, right?
Yeah.
Why? Just because he was much more close to them, because he these guys are their target audience, I can say, because these guys are say these guys could say, yeah, Mateus Gabriel is great, yeah. This guy could say, oh, I can see myself in this guy, I can be like him, right? When you go to a student and you are 20 years of experience, it's difficult for someone to say, for a student to say, oh, I can be that guy. It's possible, of course, but it's difficult, because 20 years ahead for a person who is still in his 20s is so much. It's so much time, right? And then you can think of, when you are choosing a topic, you choose a topic that is good for you and good for people who will enjoy this topic with you, right? So this is
Yeah.
nice. I What do you think, Danilo or Chila? I think
Oh,
Yes, I think
you
both
were. I
are
think I thought you were asking
very well
for.
said.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, sorry about it. Yeah, and Andres saying here, everyone has something to teach and a lot more to learn. Oh, for exactly, man,
Mhm.
exactly, and
Powerful. That's
and
really powerful.
really powerful, and it's not difficult to be a speaker in these events, right? It's not difficult. What I say is, it's not impossible. Sometimes we think it's impossible, right? There are lots of events. Of course, if you are starting to be a speaker, you're not choose. I will try to be the keynote of Java One. No, you're not, right? But you can start in in any other event we have here. For example, we have the Jugs events, we have the local events, we have the communities events, we
Mm.
have we have this national event that open the call for papers, and anybody can apply. And I was in the coordinator meeting of TDC last week, and Yara was saying that uh, she loves when new people submit talks to TDC, and she knows that is very very important uh, for these people and for TDC as well, to new people come, right? New speakers
Mhm.
start giving talks, right? Because we always have new people coming to the to our market, right? And and we all need to create new leaders, new people that can share the knowledge, new people that can choose one thing to talk, right? Because and she said she was giving some big number, huge number, say, a lot more than 4,000 talks in in a year for TDC. So we have uh, lots of opportunities to
Mhm.
try to give a to give a talk in a big event like TDC. So we we can we can start in the smaller one and then go to the big ones, no problem. But man, we need to start, right? If you want to be a speaker in an event, we need to start. We need to remove the blocker from our minds
Mhm.
that say, "Oh, I don't have anything to talk. Oh, nobody will wanna listen what I wanna say." Right?
Oh,
Yeah, man.
I have a question here, Pedro.
Sure.
Since we talked a lot about how to be a speaker, and not just you, but Sheila shared that you were a coordinator from events. How is that experience? You know, what's your role? What's your responsibilities? How is the process of being a coordinator in the events?
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I've been coordinator in the last two TTCs, right? In the international career track. Uh, I, of course, in the first TTC this year, I was a speaker, right? So I've been a speaker for a long time, and this year was the first time I tried to be a coordinator, and I myself thought, say, oh man, I don't know if I can be a coordinator. Well, coordinators are well known people. Well, I'm not well known or whatever, or have like this all this event experience as many of these coordinators has, you know. And then it was my blocker, my mind saying to me, "No, you can't," or my imposter syndrome say, "No, you are not. You are not. You have no. Uh, uh, no, not experience. You cannot do that, right?" So no, I. The point is, a coordinator is mostly a volunteer in an event, right? And interesting that Max said here, volunteering is an incredible way to start networking. Yeah, volunteering in an event can be many things, right? And you say, "Oh, I'm a volunteer. I will help to to make things work there, and I will be there to anything they need." And then you start volunteering, and then you are there in the event. You can talk to people, you know people, you make networking as well. So of course, in my case, that I have been a speaker and stuff, and then I applied to I had opportunity to be a coordinator, right? And to start doing what it is. So what a coordinator does, coordinator starts getting helping to choose the submissions that will be in a track, right? In case of TDC, we have four coordinators for each track, right? So the coordinators help to choose the talk, the submissions, help to organize them in a day, uh, help to advertise it in social media and communities and other stuff, and have to be there, choose the backup talks as well, and have to be there in the day, in all day, right? To help the speakers, to make sure everything works fine, to work together with the operations people, uh, to make sure everything is okay to the speaker, and be there in case of TDC in the system hoppings in that case, to talk to people that are online, because we know that we have in TDC is a hybrid event, so we have people there and we have people online. In our track, most of the people are online, right? And then you need to be there to talk to people
Mhm.
online, make sure everything. everyone gets the questions answered, right, and all this stuff. I have opportunity to be like the host sometimes during the track, and other people had the opportunity to be hosts in the panel. The coordinator has to work to organize the panel as well. So yeah, we have some work to do. Most of the work before the event, but not so much, I can say. But during the event, I think it's the hardest work because everything should work well. So you have to be there to make sure it works. So that's the work of a coordinator in TDC. Hey Bruno, how are you, man? Nice to see you here.
Hey Pedro, how you doing, man? So good. Hey Danilo. Hey Tilla. Hey Douglas. I was Douglas earlier today, so good to be out to be here with you. Sorry that I'm very late, but I got here for the last minutes.
Yeah, so we are talking about events here. I think and you were talking about our experience. We have talked about being attended events, being speakers, volunteers, coordinators, but of course nobody here has more experience in events than you, man. No, but I think it will be hard to find someone who has more experience in event than you. So, what you can say for our audience here about participating in events and how events are important for our careers?
Yeah, I think that's a topic that I love a lot, right? As you said, I've done far too many events, right? I've participated in every possible way, right? Today I even am a partner of a company that runs events, right? Arena, right, is the company that runs the events for TDC, and I'm a partner on that event on that company. So yeah, so I think that's. But for me, for developers in general, so we keep talking about being coordinator, being a speaker, all of that. But in reality, there's a few things that events are really, really good. And when you go to events, right, wherever you are, whatever situation you are, I think it's very easy for you to see the cost, right? How much it costs to go, how much costs a trip, how much time you leave the work, how many other things you could be doing, right? I'm gonna travel, be away from my family. And there are other things I can do. Actually, this week I really, really wanted to be at DevVox Belgium, right? And I'm not, right? So for me, when it finally got to the point that I could not go, it freed the whole week, right? So actually, I have more time to do lots of things. So I do understand the cost of the event, right? And it is a big cost, but that's why when you participate in events, right, you have to see the value. You have to look at the cost, of course, right? But look also at the value, right? And when you go to an event, the thing that I say all the time is that make a list, right? Make a list of everything you could benefit from an event, right? There's so many things. People just think about, I'm going to go to the event, I'm going to watch some presentations, right? And what's the value in that? I agree. What's the value in that, right? But if you're going to watch a presentation, let's say you're going to watch a presentation from Douglas about his results in the bank that he works for and how much scalability he was able to build in that system. And then you watch his talk, and then you sit down with him after his talk, and you discuss your current situation, your current project. You invite Douglas to come to present at your company, for example, right? You come to TDC Porto Alegre. Attila is the coordinator of the track, right? And so in the middle of the event, while some talks is going on, you sit down with Attila to talk with her about how she implemented visualization of projects. I mean, if you do that, the value that you're bringing out of this is not a generic presentation that you watch it. They can come later and maybe watch online. It's actually, applying that knowledge to your project, to your life, to your career, right? So, and I think that's it's so hard to get someone to listen to you, to give you tips, right? To spend time with you. But in an event, everyone is there for that, right? So everyone, the same way that you are traveling and you spend the whole day out there, Tila is also doing that, right? So she's traveling all the way, from Switzerland all the way to Brazil. So she's there, right? She's spending time. She's gonna have to go out for dinner, right? She's gonna have to go eat something for lunch. I mean, she's there the whole time, and then you have the opportunity to be with people, right, for an extended period of time, to really discuss something. And that is so hard to do, right? You can't just call someone and say, you can't just call Tila and say, hey, Tila, help me out here with my project, right? You don't even know who she is, right? She's not going to answer your phone because she doesn't know who you are. I mean, but when you're at an event, she's there. You can just reach out, you can talk. And the other day we had this guest in our group, Heinz Kabutz, right? It's a very famous speaker, a Java champion. He runs events. He's responsible for Jay Creeds. And he was saying that he goes to events and he is there to talk to people. That's what he wants, right? He's doing all this effort to be there, to talk to people, to meet people. But when he goes out of a talk, there's all those people around and no one has the courage to come talk to him. And he's shy, like we all are, like we are all technical people, right? We're all mostly shy anyway, right? So he doesn't know how to come to someone and say, hey, I want to answer your question, right? How do you say that to someone, right? You don't want to say that, right? And so he's there just kind of waiting for someone to come here and say, hey, Heinz, I really have a question, right? And he's like, yes, I'm here to answer it, right? But, can you imagine you just walk into a group of people and say, hey, guys, I want to answer questions here, right? It's like, it doesn't happen, right? And so the speaker is there, the coordinator is there, the other attendees are out there, right? So everyone is there to share knowledge, to do this. And then if you go to the event and you think, okay, so what do I have? What kind of problems do I want to have? I have my project that has this problem that I need to fix, right? I have my life that has this problem that I need to fix. I have my career that has this problem I have to fix. I have these negotiations with my boss that I don't know how to do. I have this desire of achieving this kind of level that I don't know how to do. And you go to the event and you think, okay, so who can help me out, right? Can I find people, like 3, 4, 5 people in this event that can help me out of this, right? So can I find the guy that does testing? So to help me out on the testing problem that I have in my program, right? Can I find the CTO of the sponsor, right? That could help me. How do I get to a director position in a company, right? Can I have a conversation with, the guy that already works for an international company so he can teach me how to do that, right? So if you do that, if you have those questions and you bring those questions to the event, and you're there with the express decision to try to find someone that can help you, right? And maybe they can help you right there. Maybe they can they can let you talk to you later. Maybe they can introduce you to someone, right? We have this friend of ours, Marcus, right? That's in DevVox. And I told him, I said, Marcus, go talk to my friend there, right? He can introduce you to James Gosling, right? It's like, maybe that's this spark of possibility. But when you go to the event, you have to think about those things. You have to think about what you want. Because if you don't know what you want, no one can help you achieve anything.
Yeah.
That's my
Bruno, that room,
yeah.
That room of people that time when you dragged me into that conference, man, it was
right. Yeah, so Douglas was there at Java One, right? And so he was a co-speaker with me. I didn't drag him anywhere, right? He was a co-speaker with me on this talk, right? There was, ask anything about Java, right? That was the talk, right? Yeah. And I got, maybe 15 of my friends, Java champions, right, to be there to talk with us to answer the question, right? So Douglas was me, Douglas, and 15 other Java champions on the stage, right, answering all kinds of questions. And so, I knew how to answer one. Douglas knew how to answer 2 or 3, right? But, there's like 50 questions, right? But we had 15 Java champions there, right, to be able to answer those things. So that is amazing, right? It puts us in a different situation. We see all those people as friends, right? They see us as co-speakers. And that changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
it was great.
That
Yeah.
that changed a lot of things. I completely agree, Bruno. This is the
Right.
and
So,
and then we have a
yeah, someone's complaining that my audio is too loud, right? So I don't know.
yeah yeah I think your audio is a
You overloaded a little
way too
bit.
low.
You saturated,
Yeah,
as they said a couple of
Yeah,
times, where
yeah,
you.
yeah, but
not me.
it's not a
It's
big
just
deal.
it's just my new camera. So let me remove the audio from there. So hopefully that's better.
No,
All right,
no
thanks.
big issue.
And then Andre says, I don't know what I want, right? And I couldn't figure out the whole year. Yes, okay, that's fair. That's a very fair question, Andres. And you know, it's very so I don't think we need to know. Here's the thing, Andres. Most people, when you try to think about what we want, right? We keep trying to think, okay, so what do I want for my career, right? What do I want? You know, do I want to be an open source developer? Do I want to be an architect? Do I want to be a speaker? What do I want, right? But you know, don't think about your career, right? Think about your life. You know, so a year from now, do you want anything for you? I mean, is your life perfect the way it is? You know, you already have everything that you want. You already done everything that you want. Think about what you want to do, right? Oh, you know, maybe you want to do a trip, or you want to do, you know, you want to make a relationship with, improve the relationship with your friend, your family, right? Maybe you want to, you know, you do want to do something spiritual for yourself, right? I mean, there's so many things in life, right? That we can do, and you know, just think about, you know, uh, if you could imagine for yourself an amazing life, what would that be? You know, would you be working every day? Would you be working many hours? Would you be working more? Right? Would be traveling? Would be spending time with your family? What would be doing if you could do whatever you want in your life? Right? Think a little bit about that. What's the possibilities? And then for you to get there, you can imagine. Okay, so what are the bad things that I think when I wake up in the morning? Right? What are the bad things I have? What are the worries that I have? What are the things that are bothering me? What are the things that are bothering my family, right? Because sometimes your life is all great, everything's fine, you can just continue like this, but your wife, you know, is complaining. Your kids don't have something that they need, and you know, just like, yeah, I know my life is great. You know, I don't care about them. That's not how it works, right? You care about them, right? So you know, look around you, look at what people around you are going through in terms of problems, and then imagine what you could do if you could solve that. Because here's what I think, guys. I think career is a great thing. You know, I'm passionate about career, right? But career, it's not an ends. Career is a mean, right? It's a mean to something that you want. It's a mean for a better life. It's a mean for you to be happier. It's a mean for you to bring more things for your family. It's a mean for you to give more opportunities for people around you. It's a mean for you to achieve your life, your highest purpose, right? So think about it, right? So, and then, you know, I want to have a better life, slightly better, right? It's not, you know, my life is almost great, right? But I want to be slightly better. If it could work well, I could travel a little bit more. You know, if I could, you know, visit my family in another country, or I could, you know, give an opportunity for my kids, or maybe give an opportunity for my wife, right? So, no, I could do something. Okay, cool. So, in my career, what can I do to make those things reality? Right? Because a lot of times, you know, our careers will help us in our purpose, will help us in our skills, will help us with money, right? So there's some things that you can do if you learn a new skill. There's something you can do if you earn more money, right? There's something you can do if you can ask for help for someone else. So maybe you say, yeah, Bruno, but you know what I really wanted was for someone from, you know, my wife wants to learn English, right? So what she really wants is to go to another country and spend 6 months there to study, right? So I don't see how my career has anything to do with that. Well, let's think about it, right? So your career can help you make that a reality, right? So if you work with your company and you are able to spend 6 months in another country, your wife can go with you, and then you provide that for her. So that's one way. Your career can give you money, right? So you can find, you can get some work, or get a salary increase or something, and then you can pay for your wife to spend 6 months in another country to learn English, for example, right? Or maybe that's a relationship thing, right? So because you're traveling to events and you meet people, you could call someone and say, "Hey, Douglas, you have a big house, man. Could you help out my wife? If my wife stayed near you, could you help her out a little bit so she could stay 6 months in the US?" So your career is the mean for you to give something amazing for your family, right? And it can be in lots of different ways. It doesn't need to be your job, right? It can just be the ways for you to get there. So, so be creative, right? First of all, think about the things that you want to do, and then be creative, right? So when Tila come to Brazil, she stayed here in my house, right? If Sheila had said, "Man, I want to learn Portuguese," right? So can I spend here a couple of months to learn Portuguese, right? Maybe she could spend in my house. Maybe she did not want to stay in my house. Maybe I could help her find a nice place to rent here in Brazil, so she could stay for a little longer, right? But then for that, she would need to had her boss to accept that she worked for 2 months remotely, for example, right? So so your career, and then maybe she would need some extra money, so she could have the money to do that. I mean, so all those things can also play together, right? So I think that if we see our career as the means to the things that we want to accomplish, then it's a lot easier for us to go after them.
Exactly. Perfect. And the events are a mean to know people to improve their career. So this is
Right. That's true too. Yes, events are means, right? So you meet people. So I've met Douglas because of an event, right? Because of online events,
You
right?
did.
I met Tila because of an event, right? Pedro knows me for far too long for me to remember how I met him, but probably because of an event too, right? So
of course.
I've met Danilo in person in an event, right? So that's a place where we meet people and we build relationships, right? Actually, that's what's on my board right here: relationship, right? It's the most important thing we can do for our careers, right?
Very good, Bruno. Very good. Oh, guys in the audience, if you still have a question to Bruno here, please, it's last minute to do that. Okay. Cool, man. Really nice, Bruno. And
So because I got here late, I was able to monopolize the sound, the speaker a little bit. So, but I'll be quiet now.
no, I would ask you. I would ask you to the guys if they have any other questions to you.
Yes, if anyone has this, I'm great. So today I'm eagerly waiting for the book moments.
Oh, cool.
I'm
Yeah,
really
we are about to get there. If you don't have any other questions, you can pass to that. Anybody has any questions? Any questions from the audience? I'm not seeing anyone here. Nope. Well, we are about time, so I think we can pass to the book moment. So yeah, well, let's start. Let's to the last moment in our session for today, the book sharing. Well, Bruno, you want to start, or do you want to finish?
up to you guys. You guys know what I have here with me, so I'll let you choose.
Go for it.
Go for it. Okay. All right. So last Friday, funny enough, as I was in a live stream, it arrived my new book, right? So I finally have, just for a few days, I finally have in my hands a copy of this book. There's a lot of work that's being put here. So I would like to recommend, if you wanna get something about your career, if you wanna learn how to participate in events, this is a good book for you to have, right? It's called the Developer Career Master Plan. Let me put the link here. So the Developer Career Master Plan. So it's a book that I wrote with Heather Vancouver, the head of the JCP, and Oh, I just realized I can't put things in the chat directly, right? So maybe I'm here as an admin. So
Oh,
can I
yeah.
just put it directly?
Sure.
Um,
I can't.
you can't. Okay, so okay, so developer career master plan, right? So so that's the book right here. It's it's a pretty big book, right? There's lots of things, but there's very cool thing. First of all, it was reviewed by Douglas, right? The guy that's right here on my side, right here, right? So it was reviewed by Douglas. So if there's any mistake there, it's his fault, right?
Anything except editing. That's not me.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
They told
So
me not to edit. I tried to. They told me not to.
right. No. 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 I'm just kidding. Right. So all the mistakes are mine, but the book is great because of Douglas. Right. So and this book we I wrote together with Heather Vancouver. Right. So Heather Vancouver is the head of the JCP. She's responsible for the Java community process that defines the organization that defines the Java specification worldwide. And you know, it's very interesting because it has also a foreword by Ed Burns from Microsoft, right? So this is the guy that did the Java EE specification and build the Java Surface specification, lots of other things, right? So he's a principal architect from Microsoft. So I mean, and he has a lot of great interviews. Every single chapter has like 2 or 3 interviews with top developers, Java champions, open source developers, all that. So I do recommend you guys take a look at this because he has a lot of great information. And everyone I talked to that read the book, they have different parts of the book they like most, so they have different parts that they say, "Oh yes, they're really helping me." So I recommend that. How about that?
Very good, Bruno. Very good. Well, I will continue here. I will not recommend a book. I will send the link to the TDC future that we're gonna have here the next in early December. And of course, I send you a link to the international career track. That is the one that I'm coordinating and we talked about today. So, and it's a free track, guys, and online. So no, you have no excuses to not be there if you wanna follow, if you wanna try and look for international career for yourself. So that's the next TDC will be so early December. I wait you there. Okay. The next one. I'm not hearing you, Sheila.
I'm sorry, I was muted. So I can share a link with you too, talking about conferences. When I was at the DevOps Ukraine conference, I was just attendee. So, and there was a keynote over there with Alan Thompson, and I found it very interesting. And he shared a lot of different things, and also how AI can compare with the intelligence of humans. And this is just a little link for that, I think. This will show, yes, exactly. That's a little bit of comparison how humans compare with AI models with the IQ. So a short tip.
Great.
So do we compare well or do you compare badly?
It's getting worse.
I hope it's better not to answer this question.
Yeah, it's complicated, right?
Yeah. All right. Nice. Thanks, Sheila. And you, Douglas?
So I really didn't have anything in mind. So I'm going to say get the book from Bruno.
Woohoo!
That's a yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. Get
Yeah,
Bruno's
that
book. There's a lot of good information in there. We already got the link in. Um, I had a chance to review it as it was being done. So, that was yeah. Get his book.
Yeah, so Douglas can actually
perfect.
say it's our book, right, Douglas? Because you're part of it, right? You're there as a reviewer, and lots of things that we changed it because of you. So yes, it's our book, man.
Yeah, my name's hiding in that book somewhere. So it's
It's not.
hey,
It's not. It's not very hiding, right?
there's a bio and all sorts of stuff in there. So yeah, it was. Let's just say that. But I think the book is important. There's a lot of information in the book that people really need to see, and there's some stories in there that really kind of nail it down well. And so yeah, I mean, that's my thing. The
Cool.
book.
Great.
Thanks so much, man.
Thank you, Douglas. And you, Danilo.
Oh, I wanted to share one podcast. It's not a book and not even a link, but it's a podcast that I have been listening the last weeks from InfoQ, the engineer culture. It's an interesting podcast. They invite a lot of people, not just managers, but staff plus engineers, CTOs, CFOs, to talk about the big tech companies and about their culture. And it's been really helpful for me to understand more about it.
Perfect. Really cool. Bruno, do you have link for the International Dev Career Day?
I do. Yes.
Can you share? Can you share here
So
for our
yeah.
audience as
So
well?
that's a good point, right? So we're gonna have international event, right? So everyone here is invited, and we're actually streaming to the YouTube version of it, right? So Dev Career Day. Let me just put the URL here, and is careerday.dev, right? So just post there, and so this is it's an event that many of us are going to speak there, right? It's a free event. You can just join in. The only thing is that we don't have a lot of free tickets, right? I say it's a free event, but if the free tickets are over, then it's a paid event, right? So so I want you that's watching this right now to go get your free ticket right now. So that's it. It's careerday.dev. We already have some speakers confirmed there. I mean, there's many other speakers confirmed that I'm just kind of putting them up online, and I hope to see all of you guys there speaking at the event, and it's going to be awesome.
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 Well, so I think we
Oh,
are in the end
just
of our.
just one quick thing here, right? So while we're talking here, I mentioned that I met Douglas in an event, right? It was an online event, and Douglas sent me the image. Actually, you should put these, Douglas, in the testimony in the group so I can have save that forever, right? But Douglas put here the email that he got inviting for an event that I was that I was doing, right? So that's where he met me, and that was 2016, right? So and from there on, we've become good friends. I've been to, and I haven't been to Douglas' new house, right? But I've been to to his city, and we've done barbecues in Dallas. We've traveled together to an amazing place called Hot Springs. Right, Hot Springs is it's it's a city with hot water, right? So, hot water coming out of the ground. So we travel there. We spent some time. We've been speakers at conference, right? A lot of things has happened, Douglas, since 2016, man.
A lot, man. I don't even know who that person was. I
Yes,
don't even know that person.
right, exactly.
I don't
So
even know.
that's it, guys. Relationships, right? Relationship. That's the most important thing. You go to events to build relationships, and then you get to a point where you don't even remember where the relationship came from, where it started, but everything else stays.
Perfect. Well, so thank you, Chila. Thank you, Danilo, Douglas, and thank you, Bruno. And thank you that were here with us until the end. So Thanks a lot. Let's go to events and build our careers, okay? See you guys.
Thanks,
See
y'all.
you.
See you
Thanks
next
so much.
time.
See you next time.